Money Bound TV, RRT Posse, YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I release scheduled videos every Monday, 12 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, but I also release some unscheduled videos throughout the week. Now, if you're returning, hey, welcome back. I appreciate all of the support. Thank you. Today's video, the video I've been promising to a lot of people for a while. A lot of people have been asking me, Randy, can you help me understand and how to interpret ABGs? Like, what's your tricks? What's your strategies? How did you learn it? Because I don't want to say master, but I know what I'm doing when it comes to ABGs. So I'm going to tell you like all my tricks of the trade, what you must know before you can like interpret an ABG the proper way and never make a mistake. All you got to do is, man, it's all you got to do. Keep watching. Just keep watching. All right, so first things first. Let's bring me down a little bit, man. Let's minimize me a little bit. Can they minimize me? Yeah, bring me down. Downsize me, man. I want y'all to downsize me. All right, so normal blood gas values. Write this down. This is very important. 7.35 to 7.45 is the normal ABG value. That is normal. From 7.35 to 7.45. Now, if the pH is 7.34 and below, that's abnormal and it's acidotic. Okay? Anything above 7.46 and above, it's alkalotic and it's abnormal. But this is the tricky part. It's like a shady gray part. 7.40 is the picture perfect ABG. That's perfect. We got a normal range and we got perfect. 7.40 is perfect. Now, anything down from 7.40, 7.39, 7.38, 37, 36, 35. That's the acidotic side of normal. Now from anything above that 0.40, 7.40, 7.41, 7.42, 43, 44, 45. That's normal, but that's the normal alkalotic range. Do you get what I'm saying? If not, rewind it and listen again. Now, when the ABG is from 7.39 down, it's acidotic. To understand what's the primary cause of this abnormal ABG, if the pH is acidotic, to find out if it's respiratory related or metabolic related, you have to look at what determines the respiratory value, which is the PCO2. That's respiratory related. Respiratory related PCO2. If the PCO2 is through the roof, that's acidotic. So if the CO2 is through the roof and overall pH is down to the acidotic side, that would be a respiratory acidosis ABG. Okay. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand these values. The pH is below 7.34. That's acidotic. Abnormally acidotic, because it can be 7.37. It's acidotic, but that's normal. So 7.34 acidotic. The PCO2 is through the roof, which is also acidotic. That's a respiratory related acidosis. Now, for it to be a respiratory related alkalosis, the pH is 7.47 and the PCO2 is, let's say, 30. That's alkalotic. The PCO2 is alkalotic and the pH is alkalotic. So the main ABG that this is would be a respiratory alkalotic ABG. Now, for it to be metabolic related, you got to look at the bicarb. The bicarb and the CO2 are like inverse. So if the CO2 goes up, that's acidotic. But if the bicarb goes up, that's alkalotic. And if the bicarb goes down, that's acidotic. But if the CO2 goes down, that's alkalotic. I know this is crazy. What's going on? Just stay with me. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to master ABGs just as good as me. It's going to be hard to be better, but just as good. Now, the normal range of the PCO2 is from 35 to 45. That's normal. That's normal, man. So if the CO2 was within those normal range, it's normal, it didn't move. The bicarb, that's the only value that fluctuates from chart to chart. Here's a prime example. The bicarb on here, normal range is 22 to 28. All right, let's look over here. The bicarb on this one is 22 to 26. Randy, which one do you go with? I don't know, but we're gonna go with 22 to 26. Let me check my battery. Hold on. I got y'all. Hold on. I gotta plug in. That's all. Ain't nothing. I can plug in. Y'all hold on. I'm finna get back to teaching. Just let me plug in. Hold on. Let me plug in. Plug it in. Plug it in. Louis, don't come over here with that nonsense, man. We working, man. Louis, Paul working right now, man. I'm working with the posse. And y'all see I got my mic. I'm bringing y'all that clarity in my voice and in the image. I got it. Okay, so for the purpose of these ABG practice problems that we about to do, we're going to use the bicarb range from 22 to 26 as our normal range. But keep in mind, it could be 22 to 28. I know it fluctuates. Why? I don't know, but it does. So we can go down to here. This one here says from 21 to 28 is the normal bicarb range. That's the only value that fluctuates from like book to book, page to page, chapter to chapter. So, with what I just told you, the normal ABG values, before you can move on to ABG Ninja, which is the site that I use to practice ABGs non-stop until I knew them like this, till I never got one wrong. I'm human, so I'm human. But to make sure that I never got one wrong, to like limit my mistakes, ABG Ninja. When I was in that respiratory therapy program, ABG Ninja is what got me through. What got me to like being the top student when it came to ABG values, understanding ABGs and how to interpret them. ABG Ninja. Arterial blood gases. Okay. Now remember, 7.45, that's normal. But anything above 7.40 is considered what? Alkalotic. Okay. So is it respiratory alkalosis or metabolic alkalosis? We got to see which one of these are in an alkalotic state. CO2 went down. What is that? That's alkalotic. So this is a respiratory alkalosis ABG. Okay, so let's answer that. Respiratory alkalosis. Okay. But it is a normal respiratory alkalosis though. So we gotta see how they really want it done. So let's see. Level of compensation, which means the value which is not in the main problem. So it's on the outside looking in, which is the metabolic, which is the bicarb, because this is a respiratory related issue. So the bicarb was on the outside looking in, which is metabolic. So did it move out of normal range to try and pull that pH to normal range? Yes, it did. And did it do it fully to the point where the ABG is normal? Yes. So this is what you call a fully compensated respiratory alkalosis ABG. I don't know why they changed the answer down here, man. Okay, so what happened to make this ABG a fully compensated ABG? The metabolic value, yes, went down. When that goes down, what is that? That's acidosis. Okay, so it's a normal ABG. See, the way they do this is they kind of make it tricky. It's a fully compensated ABG. So let's see. This should be the right way. Let's see what they say. Bingo. Okay. I gotta see how they set it up. Sometimes they be on some crazy stuff. All right, so the pH. And with ABG Ninja, it really breaks down and explains to you why these ABGs are normal. So the pH, normal. Overall state is normal. Yes, overall state is normal. The PaCO2. CO2 tension is low, which is respiratory alkalosis. Okay, so the pH was normal, but it was in the alkalotic side, which made it a respiratory alkalosis issue. Okay, and then the bicarb concentration is low, which is metabolic acidosis. So here they give you also a written explanation. The pH is at the high end of normal toward the alkalotic side. Yeah, that's what I told you. It's normal, but towards the alkalotic side. But the bicarb, this HCO3 and CO2 levels indicate something abnormal is happening. Yes, because the body generally doesn't overcompensate. The alkalotic factor is the primary culprit. Here, there is respiratory alkalosis, and the normal pH means it has been fully compensated by metabolic acidosis. Yes, that's what just happened. Randy, what are you talking about? We finna go through a lot more. By the end of this video, you gonna know ABGs, man. You gonna know where to go to practice ABGs. You gonna know that you need to understand your normal values to understand and really, truly interpret ABGs the right way. Interpret ABGs the right way. Okay, so let's go to try another one. I gotta bring me somewhere. No matter where I go, like I'm in the way, man. No matter where I go, it's like I'm in the way, dog. Whatever, we ain't tripping. Alright, so offer up. It's not a normal ABG because it's out of normal range. Normal range is from 7.35 to 7.45. So this is not a normal ABG. So what kind of ABG is it? It's alkalotic. The pH is alkalotic. So which is it, respiratory alkalosis or metabolic alkalosis? Okay, metabolic went down, which is what? That's acidosis. So it can't be metabolic. Respiratory went down. When respiratory goes down, it's alkalotic. If it goes up, it's acidotic. So this is a respiratory alkalosis. Yes. So we're going to go respiratory alkalosis now. Not acidosis, I'm saying alkalosis. Okay, level of compensation. The item on the outside looking in, which is the bicarb, did it move out of normal range? Yes, it did. But did it move out of normal range enough to make that pH normal? No, it did not. So that's partially compensated. You partially did something. You did something, but it wasn't enough to really help me. What compensation took place? Metabolic acidosis. Let's see, am I right? Let's check this. I'm right again. Yes. Now let's read the explanation. Overall state, pH, alkalotic high. Overall state is still alkalosis. Okay. PaCO2, alkalotic. CO2 tension is low. Respiratory alkalosis. We established that. Bicarb is acidotic. Bicarb concentration is low, which is metabolic acidosis. Yes. Okay, now their explanation of the ABG. The pH and CO2 levels are both alkalotic. Yes. So the primary mechanism is a respiratory alkalosis. Okay, we established that. The metabolic acidosis is compensation for the CO2, but the pH is not within normal limits, so it is only partially effective. Do you get what I'm saying? Let me make sure Jody out. Hold on, I think Jody was up there tripping. Hold on, y'all. I don't mean to interrupt y'all. I'm sorry. Class gonna continue. Just hold on. Class gonna continue. Hold on. Gotta make sure Joe. Alright. I just felt like something fall. I heard something fall. Hey, babe, you good?
Yeah, I'm just waiting till you're done so you can get us dinner.
Alright, you want dinner? Hold on. I'm in class right now. I'm gonna get us dinner. I heard something fall. I had to make sure you was alright. But I got us, babe. Trust me. I love you and the posse love you. Okay? Can you say hi to the RT posse though?
Hi.
Alright, babe. Bye. I love you.
Bye.
Alright, Jody Joe. Alright. Let's go try another one. Okay. So the pH is 7.25. Out of normal range, not a normal ABG. Okay. So anything below 7.35, 7.40 is acidotic. Outside of 35 is abnormally acidotic. So this is an acidotic ABG. Now we got to determine, is it respiratory or is it metabolic? The PCO2 determines, is the respiratory determinant. So this respiratory, the PCO2 is 16. That's alkalotic. So there's not a respiratory acidosis issue. Metabolic is 7. That's acidotic. So this is a metabolic acidosis ABG. Metabolic acidosis. The level of compensation. Did the value on the outside looking in, which is the PCO2, did it move out of normal range? Yes, it did. But was it enough to make ABG normal? No, because the pH is 7.25 and the normal range is 7.35 to 7.45. I'm going to keep repeating these normal ranges so you can keep hearing it and have it locked in. So, did it move out of range? Yes. Was there some compensation? Yes. What level? Partial. Because it did something, but not enough to really help me. Not enough to really help the overall pH value return to normal. What compensation took place? Respiratory alkalosis. Because the PCO2 is in an alkalotic state. Am I right? Are we right? We got to say we. Are we right? Bingo. We right again. We're going to get straight down to the explanation. The pH and PCO2, the pH and PCO3, the pH and bicarb levels are both acidotic. So the primary mechanism is a metabolic acidosis. The respiratory alkalosis is compensation for the bicarb, but the pH is not within normal limits, so it is only partially effective. Do y'all get where we going with this? And like, this is what you gotta keep doing until you can like teach someone how to do it. You know what I'm gonna do? Drop down in the comments. Would y'all like to see me teach Jody Joe how to do an ABG and how to interpret ABGs? Teach Jody Joe how to interpret ABGs and see if she can come on here and get some of these right. Cause you got to do it from like a fresh person. Like, I've been doing it a while, so it's like it's second nature and it seems kind of easy, but it wasn't easy at all. I had to keep practicing, which is what we're doing right now. Let's go on to the next ABG. Next, please. Come on, man. First thing we look at is the pH. It's acidotic. What level, what acidosis is it? Is it respiratory or is it metabolic? Hold on. Hey man, I've been talking a lot. So, the PCO2 is elevated. When the PCO2 is elevated, that is acidosis. The normal ranges for the PCO2 is from 35 to 45. So this is the respiratory acidosis ABG. First thing we want to know. Respiratory acidosis ABG. Level of compensation. Did the bicarb move out of range to help compensate for this ABG? Try to help compensate. It did nothing. The normal range is from 22 to 26, 22 to 28. This stayed within normal, so it did absolutely nothing. So we're going to do none. Man, I'm trying to hit none. I don't know the definition of none. Bro, I'm hitting none. Okay, none. Bam. So compensation is none. This is just a respiratory acidosis ABG with no compensation at all. Am I right? I'm not smart. I'm just like, I'm not smart. I'm just showing like wisdom. And with wisdom comes like over time. I had a lot of time dealing with ABG values and interpreting them and practicing. So this got nothing to do with smarts. This had to do with my practice. I kept practicing until I got it right. So I said, are you just smart? No, I just put in the work to keep practicing, which is what we doing right here. I can keep clicking this thing all day and all night. Okay, the explanation is the pH and CO2 levels are both acidotic. Yes. So the primary mechanism is a respiratory acidosis. The bicarb is normal, so there is no indication of metabolic compensation. The bicarb didn't even try to move. It was nothing, so it's no compensation, no metabolic compensation. Let's try another one. Let's just see what happens. Okay. pH is 7.28, below 7.35, acidotic. So is it metabolic or is it respiratory? Respiratory, the PCO2 is 21. Anything below 35 is alkalotic when it comes to PCO2. So it can't be respiratory related. It has to be a metabolic acidosis. The metabolic value is 10. This is bicarb. The bicarb is 10. So this is a metabolic acidosis. Was there any compensation? Yes, there was. Randy, how was it? Because the PCO2 moved out of normal range to try to help do something with that pH. But did it do it? It didn't do enough. So it partially compensated me. Okay, partially compensated by doing what? Respiratory alkalosis. Let's see what happens. Is this correct? All right, how is this correct? The pH and the bicarb levels are both acidotic, so the primary mechanism is a metabolic acidosis. The respiratory alkalosis is compensation for the pH, is compensation for the bicarb, which is HCO3, but the pH is not within normal limits, so it is only partially effective. Okay, that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna do 2 more ABG practices. I'm gonna do 2 more. And then I'm gonna do 4. I'm gonna leave them blank. And I want you to comment down below. ABG 1 I showed, 2 I showed, 3 I showed, 4 I showed. What is it? And I'm gonna check back in the comments and we're gonna see who's all right. So we got 2 more practice ones. Then I'm gonna give you 4 to do on your own. 4 on your own. Okay. 7.22. That's acidotic. Bicarb is acidotic as well. So we already see that this is a metabolic acidosis. PCO2 went out of normal range, didn't do enough. It's partially compensated. What did it do? Respiratory alkalosis. Is this correct? Yes. The pH and the bicarb levels are both acidotic, so the primary mechanism is a metabolic acidosis. The respiratory alkalosis is compensation for the bicarb, but the pH is not within normal limits, so it is only partially effective. Okay, so the next one I'm gonna do it like real fast to show y'all, like I'm just showing off now. The last one I do, I'm gonna do it real fast. I'm just kind of showing off. But you know what? This ain't about me showing off. This is about me teaching. So I'm gonna take it nice and slow. Do y'all want me to do something like real fast? Drop that in the comments and I'll come back to ABG Ninja. I'll come back. Okay, I want him to do something else now. The pH is 7.29. pH is acidotic. We go down to the CO2. CO2 is 63. That's also acidotic. CO2 determines respiratory, so that's respiratory acidosis. We know that. We got it. We know that right there. Respiratory acidosis. Okay. Level of compensation. Normal range is from 22 to 28. Did the bicarb move out of normal range? Yes, it did. But was it enough to help the pH return to normal? No, it wasn't. So that was partially compensation. What took place? Metabolic alkalosis. Is this correct? Explain to me how this is correct. The pH and CO2 levels are both acidotic. So the primary mechanism is a respiratory acidosis. The metabolic alkalosis is compensation for the CO2, but the pH is not within normal limits. So it is only partially effective. Okay. Now these are the 4 that you guys are going to do on your own. We doing 4 on your own. I'm just going to put it up there. I ain't saying nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing. It's on y'all. Bam. I'm finna record my answer right here. I'll write my answer down right here. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next one. We ain't answering nothing. I'm not answering. We're gonna move on to the next. Hey man, what the heck just happened? Okay. Here go the second one. I'm writing my answer down right here. We gonna come back, drop down in the comments what y'all got. We gonna figure out who was right. Everybody help in, chime in. Let's see what we got. Okay. I'm going to the next one now. We going to the next. Okay, the fourth and final one. Don't forget, when you drop your question, when you drop your answers, just put number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay. All right, man. And that's where we're going to stop it at. If y'all would like for me to do more videos like this, like more screen recording, using my microphone, really getting engaged, showing you what I'm doing, we practicing stuff together, please drop down in the comments and let me know, because we can do this with Sims, practice NRBC exams, RRT posse. I got us. I'm here. I want y'all to get in here. Big money bound. Run it up. Man, it's possible. Like, I'm human. I had to study all this stuff just like you guys got to study the same thing. Like, it was difficult for me at first, but then I got it. So, like, I don't mind helping. Hey, I want everybody to, bro, big money bound. I want to see us all healthy and wealthy. Drop down in the comments and let me know. Thanks for rocking. If you haven't already, join the channel membership to get them exclusive videos, that personal, real deal personal, what's going on in my daily life, how I'm doing this, how I'm doing that. RRT Posse super fan. Join that channel membership. I appreciate all the support. Y'all be easy. It's possible. Look that down.